There's something most men think they know about how to give a woman pleasure, but the truth is, in practice, almost all of them get it wrong. And I'm not talking about a minor detail. I'm talking about such a common mistake that, if you fix it, you could multiply her pleasure in ways you can't even imagine. In fact, if you correct it, you could make her body react with such intensity that even after it's over, she'll keep thinking about you for hours or even days. The curious thing is that this mistake isn't due to a lack of intention. Many men, especially those who truly want to please, fall into this trap because they repeat what they've seen in movies, heard from friends, or read somewhere that claims to know the ultimate tricks. The problem is, most of that information has nothing to do with how the female body actually works. I'm going to tell you this directly. A woman's pleasure doesn't get activated the way you think. It doesn't respond to faster or harder as if it were a machine. Her body follows a neurological map that's very different from yours. A map programmed to respond to certain stimuli in a progressive, deep, and above all, highly specific way. And here's where we get to the detail that very, very few men know. Not all touch is the same, and not all touch wakes up her body. Think of it this way. You could knock on a door for hours, but if you don't press the right doorbell, it will never open. The same goes for female stimulation. There are zones, rhythms, and micro-movements that send direct signals to her brain, and when they're activated, they trigger a chemical cascade that puts her in a state of intense pleasure. And the key to achieving it isn't doing more, it's doing it differently, far more differently than most men do. This is where mature men have the upper hand. They're no longer obsessed with speed or intensity like younger men. They understand that the female body is like a delicate instrument that needs precision, not roughness. And when they apply the correct technique, they achieve something that doesn't rely on luck, but on biology. They trigger involuntary responses she can't hide, even if she tried. But don't get me wrong, this isn't some vulgar trick or a single magic move you can copy from a random video. This is a technique backed by medical studies observed in gynecology, sexology, and neuroscience practices. In fact, several doctors agree that when a man does it right, the physical response he gets from his partner is more powerful than anything a toy or improvised stimulation can produce. And here's the most interesting part. Many believe pleasure is all in one single point of her anatomy, but the truth is, it's an interaction between skin, nerves, and internal muscles working together. What I'm going to share with you next won't just stimulate one part of her body. It will activate an entire pleasure circuit that runs from her pelvis up her spine and straight to her brain. I want you to picture the scene, you and her in an intimate moment. At first, everything seems to unfold like any other encounter until you apply this form of touch. Suddenly, you notice an immediate change in her breathing. Her hips move closer, and her eyes close as if she wants to record every sensation in her memory. And in that moment, you'll know that what you're doing is working on a level few men ever reach. In just a moment, I'm going to explain exactly what this technique is and how to apply it so that, even if it's the very first time you're together, she feels like you know her better than any other man. But first, I need you to erase from your mind the idea that faster means better. What I'm about to reveal goes far beyond that. What separates an ordinary man from one who truly knows how to please a woman lies in how he understands and applies stimulation to the most sensitive point of her intimacy. And no, I'm not just talking about the clitoris as most believe. I'm talking about a combined approach that simultaneously activates both external and internal nerve pathways, something sexual medicine refers to as dual route stimulation. Dr. Beverly Whipple, one of the leading researchers in female sexuality, discovered that when certain nerve receptors around the vaginal entrance are stimulated along with the internal anterior wall, a neurological synergy occurs that multiplies pleasure. The body responds by releasing more oxytocin, more dopamine, and even small doses of endorphins that create a state close to ecstasy. But here's the key. The way you touch is just as important as where you touch. The contact must be slow, firm, and progressive, not superficial or rushed. Fingers, the tongue, or even a toy, if used intelligently, should move in gentle microcircles with only slight rhythm variations to prevent her brain from getting used to the sensation. This keeps the nervous system in the area constantly lit up, sending ongoing signals of growing pleasure to her brain. A common mistake is thinking a woman wants you to go hard and direct right from the start. While that might cause momentary arousal, it can also overload the nerves and make the sensation fade quickly. An experienced man, on the other hand, knows how to play with anticipation, alternating delicate touches with deeper pressure, exploring different angles, and most importantly, reading the microsignals she sends. Changes in her breathing, tension in her thighs, involuntary pelvic movements, all to adjust every move in real time. Here's a detail few know. Beneath the skin of the female genital area lies a complex network of nerve endings branching toward the pelvis and lower abdomen. By stimulating certain points, you don't just generate local pleasure, you activate reflexes that make the internal muscles contract and relax as if they were breathing. This not only intensifies the orgasm, but also creates sensations of fullness and heat that spread throughout her body. Now, here comes a clinical tip few men have heard. Coordinate your stimulation with her breathing. When her exhalations become longer and deeper, match them with firmer, longer movements. When she inhales and holds her breath, maintain the pressure or contact without moving, allowing the buildup of tension to grow even more. This simple adjustment, documented in sex therapy, can double the intensity of her orgasm. And never forget something essential. A woman's mind is the master key to her pleasure. While applying this technique, whisper something that connects with what she's feeling. It doesn't have to be vulgar. It can be descriptive, suggestive, and personal, making her imagination travel as quickly as the sensations moving through her body. When you master this, you don't just give her physical pleasure, you create an experience that imprints itself in her sensory memory. And believe me, a woman never forgets a man who knows how to read and guide her pleasure as if it were an art. Now the question is, do you want me to reveal the exact step-by-step, with every detail of position, rhythm, and pressure, so you can apply this technique even with a woman who believes she has tried it all? If your answer is yes, write it in the comments and subscribe, because what I'm going to share in the next video will make your name etched into her desire.